Hello and good evening. My name is Chad Royer, and welcome to my channel called What's Up with Chad Y. Royer. And you must be wondering what is the reason or the impetus for the channel. Well, the reason is simple. So, I had a life changing event that happened to me last year. In fact, it was last fall. And I've dedicated this channel in the hopes of not only telling my story, but helping others who are overcoming or wanting to overcoming major situations similar to mine involving their health. And what I want to do is I just want to give a quick shout out to Family Reach and Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, not only for their outstanding work, but also for the little that they have done for me so far, which is actually big. But I just want to give them a shout out. So I just want to also remind folks this is my official, unofficial first video. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications and find out more about what's happening in the life of Chad Royer. Now, I just want to go over a few things. So I was dealing with an issue with my back where it was difficult to walk, and I was bedridden for a few weeks. And as a result of complications from that, it was suggested that I go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room. In fact, I was admitted in November 25th of 2024. And not only were they looking to evaluate me for my inability to move around freely because I was bedridden, but they also discovered something else. They looked at the blood work. They saw some things were wrong, things didn't make sense, and they put a few things together and they realized that not only was I in need of a back operation, but I was also diagnosed with a cancer. You heard it. I was diagnosed with a cancer. It was unbeknownst to me. I was shocked. The few people who I told, my wife was shocked. I didn't even feel any symptoms knowing what it was, but I was diagnosed with a rare cancer called multiple myeloma. And I'll even spell it out for you. Multiple myeloma. So, multiple myeloma is a blood cancer that affects a type of white blood cell called plasma cells. Normal plasma cells are white blood cells that produce antibodies, which are part of the immune system, and it helps fight against infections in the body. Now, when plasma cells have DNA damage, they can overproduce, and this can weaken the immune system by overproduction of abnormal amounts of M proteins. So M proteins are abnormal antibodies. This can cause damage to the kidneys from the excess of the M proteins in the blood and the urine. It can cause red blood cell counts to differ, and it could lead to bone loss. These cancerous cells can quickly spread into the bone marrows or soft tissue. Now, treatment could include anything from medication, chemotherapy, corticosteroids, radiation, and stem cell transplants. Now, as myeloma cells multiply in the bone marrow, they crowd out the normal cells that are already there, leaving less room for the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. Myeloma cells may also activate other cells in the bone marrow that can cause damage to the bone, creating symptoms like bone pain and bone lesions. So in my case, I felt some bone pain, not realizing that there was a correlation. One other symptom that I also found out when I was in the ER was that my calcium levels were up the roof. So hypercalcemia is also a symptom of multiple myeloma. There are a few risk factors that can increase the chances of getting multiple myeloma or finding out if you have it. If you're a male or African American, if there's a family history, if there's a presence of other plasma cell disease, if there's obesity, or if you're older in age. So in my case, I haven't reached 50 yet. I'm close to it. But typically, multiple myeloma, you would get those diagnoses in older adults. But in my case, it got me. Now, it has also been said that multiple myeloma is not hereditary, but you always want to look out for those factors. Um, Also, want to reiterate it's a blood cancer, it's a rare blood cancer that affects plasma cells in the bone marrow, and it can cause tumors in the bones and produce large amounts of antibodies in the blood. There is quite a few ways to define it, but I just wanted to put it out there so that you, the audience, could get a better understanding. And there's no cure for it. But the way that medical advances are right now, there is a route that I can take where there is an opportunity for recovery. It's not going to be an easy one, but there is a road to follow. Now, a couple dates that I wanted to bring forth. So November 25th, I was admitted to the hospital. November 29th, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. December 5th, I had a back operation. Minimally invasive, it's called a kyphoplasty. December 10, I started my rehabilitation to help me learn how to walk again because I literally crawled into the hospital by ambulance. So I had to learn how to walk, stride, move around. I was doing physical therapy and occupational therapy, of which I continue at home. And my discharge was December 17th. Now, why these dates are important? I've been in the hospital for 3 weeks and maybe an additional day. And from that whole ordeal, I've had to deal with being transported from one place to another, being accidentally run into the wall by careless people handling me where it actually hurt. I've had to do multiple MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays. Several times a day, they've had to draw blood to see how the levels were changing, if they were changing, and not to mention the hospital food was unbearable. But I did what I could. Now, there will be more subsequent contents that I will be putting out where you can follow me on my journey on how I am dealing with multiple myeloma as a diagnosis. I am hoping that I can educate the public. I am hoping not only to provide support, but I'm also looking for support too. I'm still going through it. And every week, I have chemotherapy sessions that I have to go to as far as me trying to get better. But since I'm out of the hospital, this will be outpatient. So I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself to the universe as I continue my treatments in the hope of getting better from this cancer called multiple myeloma. I want to thank you all for your time. And let me remind you folks, it would be very helpful if you could like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on your notification, find out more about what's happening in the life of Chad Royer. It would be much appreciated. And I hope to see you at the next video. Take care.